I'm going to show you how to lockpick in Starfield. Now, I know this is a really complicated lockpicking minigame, so I'm going to try my best to explain this to you. And also, before you even do this, I strongly recommend, if you're going to do it a lot, go to your skills and try to get level 2 security, because it'll make the rings turn blue and the lockpick will work and stuff. And that helps a lot once you understand what's going on. But let's go straight to the minigame. So, the minigame. In order to do this, we have digipicks. We have to use them. We have to fill these rings. So there's these rings. It goes from outside to inside. So first we do the outer one. Then we do the inner one. So we need to fit these little things into there. I don't know what the controls are on Xbox, but on controller or mouse and keyboard is scroll wheel or A and D to spin these things. And it's clicking on these different picks in order to select the different ones. So we can pick this first one. We can move it around like this. You see it. And then we're trying to fit it into the outer slot. So there's a gap at the top left, a gap at the bottom right. This one will fit in there. I don't think it'll fit anywhere else on that outer ring. So this one will fit there. All right, cool. But before we put it in, let's make sure we can solve the rest of the puzzle. So let's take a look at this one. Where would this one fit? So this one would fit here. Those two conflict because they'll both fit in this top left one. So we don't want to put both these in. We could just put one in, right, like that. But then, you know, it's not guaranteed we'll fit another one. So I'm going to undo that. There's an undo button down here, but it uses a digipick to undo. So undo. Let's start over. Okay. So we're going to try to find the different combo here. So let's take a look at this one. This one will fit in somewhere. Say right here. Okay. It'll fill in all 3 of those bottom ones for the outer ring. This one will fill in all the top 3 ones. Okay, cool. We put those in and it'll solve the outer ring and it'll get rid of the outer ring. So put that in. Put that in. That ring's gone. Now we're left with these remaining lockpicks, and we would have to now try to find out where they fit. So we can check like that, like that. These ones would fit in, and if we put those in now, it'll solve the puzzle. We're done. We picked the lock, okay? That's how that works. I'm going to undo these, though, because I want to explain something here. So if you get level 2 security, which I highly recommend doing if you're going to be doing this a lot, you'll notice some of these rings are blue, and some of them are not blue, and some are blue on both when I pick these things. So what that means if you level 2 security is if I pick this lockpick here, or whatever, digipick, then it shows me, hey, this outer ring is blue for this one. This one, they're both blue, but this one only one's blue. What that means is this pick will only fit into the outer layer. There's no combo in the inner layer. And you can verify that by scrolling it around, and you'll see, like, if I put it here, if I was on the inner ring, you know, these two wouldn't fit on the inner ring. These two wouldn't fit there. There's nowhere that it would fit on that inner one. So it tells you that ahead of time without you having to scroll around and visualize it yourself. I know for a fact this one only goes in the outer ring. So that helps me narrow things down. Now also, there are going to be picks that are just fake picks. Picks that either won't fit into any ring, or there'll be picks that they do fit, but if you use them, the puzzle will be unsolvable. So keep that in mind. That's why it's always important to make sure that you can do all the layers before you put a single thing in, which takes a lot of memory. Like, if you have a piece of paper and a pencil or something, this might be the time to use one and actually take notes as you're going. I mean, this lockpicking is really complicated in that way. Like, on a master lock that has 4 layers or 4 rings, I might sit there for 10 minutes sometimes if I get unlucky, just going through all the picks and trying to make sure I got it all memorized of what goes where before I put them all in. And if you don't, and you have to undo, you're going to waste lockpicks. And if you exit, then it's going to use a lockpick in order to come back in. And on top of that, it'll be a totally different puzzle the next time. So that's going to be that. And that's it. So if I back out like this, I come back in, I just use the lockpick, and now we have a different puzzle with different things. So that's lockpicking. So real quick, let me just solve one again. So we got to do the outer ring. So this would fit there. That would fit there, but that wouldn't solve this outer ring. This one would fit right here, but I would need to find a combo that goes with it. This pick, see, it doesn't even go anywhere. Neither one's blue. So this one's literally a fake lockpick. Doesn't do anything. This one can only go on the inner ring, and it would go right there if it was going to go on the inner ring. Okay, and that one would go there. Can this one fit anywhere else? No, it can't. Okay, so that one's useless. This one's outer. This one could be either. All right, do we have one that could fill the top gap up there? We do. Okay, so this one will fill the top gap. This one will fill the other gaps on the outer ring. That would solve the outer ring, but I'm not going to put them in just yet because I want to make sure I can do the inner ring in case that's not correct, in case something else needs the inner ring. So we got this one. Can this one go here? It can. So this one could, you see the lineup of those lines? That one could go to the inner one. That one could go to the inner one, and that one could go to the inner one once we get there, which we're not doing the inner one just yet. But we can confirm that, yes, those will actually fit into the inner ring. and these will fit into the inner ring. Okay, so that would solve the inner ring, that combo of things. Then we take a look at this one. This one will do the outer, and this one will do the outer, and it'll fill them. So we're all clear. This will work. We can commit to this now and not waste a lockpick having to undo anything. We know the whole lock is solvable if we memorize that, which is why you normally would want to take notes if you don't have like super good short-term memory for this stuff. So we'll put that thing in, put this one in, bam, outer lock solved. Just like we had, you know, calculated before by looking at these. Now we just have these ones, and we already checked these. We already put them in the correct slots. They did fit. And now, sure enough, put it in, bam, solved. And so that's how that's going to work. So it's really a hard lockpicking game. Like if you're used to Skyrim lockpicking or something like that, this is way harder. This takes actual like serious short-term memory skills and like problem-solving skills. It's mainly a mini game of memorization, because when you get to the master locks, they're actually crazy. This one's only an expert that I'm looking at now. I just skipped ahead to a different lock, and you see how there's 3 different layers now? So now I would have to go around and I would have to solve these 3 different layers, but I may put things in. So like, perfect example here. I could, in theory, put these single ones in right here and here and go like this. Bam, outer ring solved. But I might be screwed now because the inner ring, if I start just throwing things in, although I may just get insanely lucky here, we'll see. But if I just start throwing things in, I could end up in a scenario where now there's no solvable way to do it. None of these ones fit on the last ring. There's nothing left. I either have to undo a million times and use a bunch of digipicks, or I exit out and then go back in and try again. So that's why you want to make sure you know they all fit before you put them in, or else you'll end up in a scenario like that where suddenly it's unsolvable. So hopefully it helps you out, guys. It's a really complicated minigame. I made a previous video and people said it didn't help, so I tried to make another guide now where I tried to explain this in a different way that might make more sense. So hopefully this one helps you out, guys. Hopefully now you know how to solve lockpicks in Starfield.